The trailer's out. The Villeneuve Dune finale's coming. That was a mouthful. So it's finally the moment to do this. I've waited a while. Spicy take time. Here we go. Denis Villeneuve's Dune is better than the book. And just to clarify, don't take these spicy takes too seriously. I'm just kind of stirring the pot a little, getting some debate going. Although this one, I might actually mean it. And also, full disclosure, I am a fully paid up Villeneuve fan. Have been since long before these films. Although that doesn't actually alter my view here. I've thought this kind of thing for a long time. And just to give full credit, for your visual pleasure, this is The Beauty of Dune from the Beauty of channel. So go and check them out. Fantastic videos. Anyway, let's get on to it. I will maybe do a dedicated video on this first point because it could stand a lot more investigation. But movies are often made worse by being word for word faithful to the book. So look at The Running Man as an example. The unfaithful version was a smash with Arnold Schwarzenegger and lots of cheese. The recent faithful one that was approved by Stephen King was a flop with critics and audiences. And there's a good reason for this kind of thing. So you read a book over days or weeks, or months maybe in the case of Dune, it's very dense. If a movie tries to condense all that detail into a movie runtime, it either gets overlong and loses pace, or it's too rushed trying to fit everything in. See, they're made to be consumed in different ways, books and movies. So they need to be made for the audience, not just an audience. So changes are inevitable. Some books, because of this, are thought to be downright unfilmable, and I think Dune definitely qualifies. It isn't just that it's really long, which it is, but it's so densely packed with details and lore that it's seemingly all vital, all of this information. I mean, the first cut of Lynch's 1984 version was 4 to 5 hours long. He trimmed it to 3, which he wanted to release, and it was this that the studio fell out with him over, caused him to walk away, him cutting it down to 2 hours. There's a little more to it, but that's basically it. And theatre audiences, when they went to see this, they were actually given explainer sheets to help them understand all the terminology, because there's just so much detail. I mean, look, my copy has 36 pages of appendices and glossaries, and the original movie version by Jodorowsky, it was going to be 10 hours long. And also nothing like the book, so we won't get too far into that, like at all. But also, a lot of the exposition in the book, explaining what's going on and who people are and their history and all that kind of stuff, it involves inner monologues. And the 1984 version showed how dumb inner monologues are.
Spice, what is it doing to me?
That's another point of contention for Lynch, another reason why he walked away and he hates the thing. So changes, even major changes to the nuts and bolts of a novel, they can be necessary for film adaptation, not just to make it better, but to make it work at all. And Frank Herbert was fine with that. Unlike Tolkien, who was scathing of detail-deviating attempts to adapt his work, Herbert approved of the Lynch Dune, even though it massively changed things. And I know, it kept more things in like Mentats and Alia of the Knife, and it went into more detail on certain things. But it missed the point of the book entirely. And I'm not talking about the weirding modules that it added in, or the threat of Leto being that he's got this new technology of like sound, the weirding modules. And not just him being a decent dude with a well-trained army, which is an important wider point that's in the book. Or the space-folding navigator scene with that weird vagina-mouth space vomit malarkey that it was doing, which isn't in the book at all. I mean, seriously, I watched this movie long before reading the book. So when I did read the book, this one in particular, and Paul is on Caladan on one page and on Arrakis the next, with zero description of the journey, I was trying to find the stuck page that I thought I must have skipped. Like, where is it describing whatever the heck this was so I could understand what I'd just seen? But nope, completely added in, ending in this amazing special effect. I mean, ooh, look at it. Quality visuals right there, right? And this was 7 years after Star Wars. I digress. I'm not talking about special effects in movies. No, right. The big change, it was this. For some reason, Lynch, who'd never read the book, made Paul an actual messiah. When he wins, it rains on Arrakis, messiah moment, and the Fremen cheer. Hang on a minute, they cheer. They worship the worms, which create the spice, and the worms are unalived by the slightest bit of water. But that's not even the big problem here. Paul becomes a messiah, an actual hero, more so than in the book, And the fact that he was one in the book at all, or was seen that way, was Herbert's great regret. And in case you didn't know, I'm going to put the book down, the entire purpose of Dune, the overriding message of the book that Herbert was trying to get across, which he said many, many times, is that charismatic leaders are dangerous. Effectively, there are no true messiahs, and anyone who looks like one is inevitably corrupt and will lead themselves and their followers and everyone else to disaster. He tried to convey this in the book, but it didn't work. People actually read the book and they thought Paul was not just the protagonist of the story, but an actual hero. He isn't. He never was. And the fact that people didn't get that is the reason that Herbert wrote Dune Messiah, the follow-up book which Villeneuve's Dune Part 3 is actually based on. So I've been waiting to do this. By ending the second Dune movie, Dune Part 2, with the start of the war, showing it happen, the story cements what Herbert always intended you to see. Paul is a monster whose motivations we can agree with. And that's the point. We can all follow someone, we will all follow someone doing evil things if we think those things are for good enough reasons and, like the Fremen, can call them our saviour in some way. And yes, I'd have loved to have seen the Weirding Way actually happen. I would have seen so much more of the Mentats, especially Tofir. I would have loved to have seen him on Gidi Prime, seen Count Fenring. But then I'd have loved to have seen Tom Bombadil in Lord of the Rings. But I love those movies and I understand why they left him out. Even more so now. Were these changes for the better? Maybe. I don't know. What I do know is that changes are necessary in movie adaptations. I know that Herbert was fine with that. And even though I'm not saying this movie's perfect, I don't think it is. If Herbert saw Villeneuve's Dune, Part 1 and 2, even he would have agreed that this was how Paul should have been handled, and so this did a better job of communicating his intentions than he did. The movies were better than the book from Herbert's point of view. And I'm done. That's it. Give me your thoughts. As always, you know I value your input. Tell me what other spicy takes you want me to take on. Be gentle. Check out our website to see the original new sci-fi we're creating. I hope to see you next time. Looking forward to reading your comments. And thank you so much for listening.